The Cuphead DLC Delicious Last Course was released to much fanfare, and rightfully so. It's been over 4 years since the initial release in 2017 as such, until most recently with the Netflix Cuphead show and the DLC announcement. Cuphead was only spoken about by its most loyal fans, like many indie titles. However, something is different now. Cuphead by itself was amazing, and I already did a review about the base game. Check out the video on your top right of your screen. The excitement of the second season of Cuphead on Netflix and the Delicious Last Course has brought in an entirely new audience and breathed new life into this amazing IP. A warning for those that never played this game: this review is full of spoilers, so subscribe now and then leave, and then come back when you're finished the game. Today we will go over the DLC in full, what I personally thought of the animation, boss fights, Miss Chalice, new abilities, new weapons, secrets, and the music. We will also discuss the future of Cuphead in closing thoughts. If you thought the music could not get any better than the original game, think again. The intensity this time around is unmatched. My personal favorite is Sheriff Winchester's stage, followed very closely by the sinister and demonic melody of Chef Saltbaker. Seriously, I expected this guy to show up. The angelic intro theme is amazing and completely sets the mood for the DLC. It might be the only relaxing moment. The only standard we have to truly compare the animation of the DLC is to its own base game Cuphead, or to the animated classics of the past. It takes no time at all to see that there is simply much more complex animation in the DLC. It's obvious that no detail was missed. The animation in Howling Aces is nothing short of extraordinary. Sheriff Winchester might be the funniest and wildest fight in the entire game. Chef Saltbaker might be the best animated boss fight ever assembled in any game. He is absolutely perfect and menacing. I feel so bad for the poor ingredients, and this appears to be a take on cannibalism. While the fight itself holds less weight, it is a visual masterclass, but we'll get to that later in the video. Anybody who ranks these bosses are just looking for clicks, in my humble opinion. I have no interest in comparing perfection. Every one of these bosses deserves a place on the pedestal. I will simply pick my personal 3 favorite bosses as I had experienced them. However, this does not negatively reflect any of the bosses you are currently seeing footage of, as they are all outstanding. Chef Saltbaker, absolutely sadistic bullet hell style fight. The flames, those little annoying fellas, are best avoided by staying in the middle to control where they land while you dodge. The insane amount of ingredients that are screaming in horror. Let's not mention we brought those sentient beings to the shelf for harvest. I probably shouldn't have done that. Weirdly enough, the second phase is only difficult if you use anything besides Crackshot. While the standard avoid the flames and projectiles is still here, it's the herbs falling from the sky that are the most annoying. The goal here is to hit the pepper shakers to launch them at the chef himself. Lucky for us, this requires we only shoot them. The third phase, to me, while visually striking, is the most disappointing. It's way too easy. It involves a bouncing salt monster that is quickly dispatched and a saw blade that travels slow on the ground. This all falls away into Chef Saltbaker's heart and a narrow platforming section, which is pretty easy, especially if you have more than 1 hit point left. This fight to me is a 9 out of 10, as it is perfect at the start, but falls a little flat towards the end. Sheriff Winchester, as the only vehicle-based fight in the DLC, well, the only traditional one, Howling Aces, does not count. This boss fills the screen with massive cacti, snake oil demons, birds drop off explosives that hit the ground and send massive amounts of projectiles towards you, and a bird that tosses a spike ball at you for good measure, and this is only the first phase. The second phase, she goes wild with a vacuum cleaner, sucking in you, money bags, and other projectiles, not to be topped off by the insanity of spitting out safes towards the sky that hit the ground and send more projectiles at, you guessed it, you. The third phase is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a game. She cooks herself into a sausage cow, tossing out steaks and cans with tiny sausages with auto-scrolling nightmare. If you thought things could not get stranger, well, you are wrong. She turns into a large can of sausages that propel outward and intersect, trying to trap you like a meat Venus flytrap while shooting you with peppers? Your goal? Go between the sausage links like a ninja with precision. Seriously, MDHR, this is why we love you. 10 out of 10 fight right here, folks. The Howling Aces. The first thing you'll notice about this fight is the obvious perspective change, and man, it is beautiful. Ever since I saw the promotional screenshots, I knew this was the fight I was going to love. However, it is far better than even I could have imagined. Fighting the bulldog in his plane, mid-air, and navigating our plane back and forth is just awe-worthy. To top it off, my man pulls a battlefield moment and goes into a jetpack mode, shooting dog bones and with his cat yarn balls, which I still laugh at. The second phase, the weakest in my opinion, brings the 4 jetpack dog soldiers shooting Bow Wow alphabet soup at you, which, if you can equally damage them, lead to a third and secret phase. The standard third phase, however, involves getting trapped by the main airship, in which you have to dodge randomly generated laser turrets. Keep an eye on the ionized air particles to avoid it. The fourth phase, however, blew my mind when I first did it. I had no idea the screen would flip. It was tricky to control the character. As the D-pad is affected by the position change, it's brutal to get used to. Even now sometimes I mess it up and get hit by too many of the dog bowls. 11 out of 10. This is one of the best fights of all time on any game. An honorable mention goes out to the Angel and Devil Secret boss, but we will discuss that a bit further in the video. Miss Chalice makes her playable character debut in the form of an astral cookie charm. As Cuphead or Mugman, you must equip this charm to use her in battle. As soon as the fight starts, she takes over your position in space-time. I never realized as a veteran Cuphead player just how great parrying is. By essentially double jumping on a pink object, that was hard-coded into my playstyle. To be frank, when I used her with the double jump ability and the parry dash, I sucked if I'm being honest. The invulnerability roll got me into more trouble than it solved. It really wasn't until I did the entire game with her that I got her moveset down. She is by all accounts amazing. I personally use Special 2, which spits out an extra hit point. I guess this is to make up for the lack of ability of the Heart Ring charm. In airplane levels, she has a triple spread main shot and a constant bombardment as her secondary. Her special turns into a missile, which I actually find a bit harder to use than Cuphead and Mugman's bomb. She is a tour de force. The only issue is 2 people in co-op cannot use her at the same time. As such, somebody might have a hard time if they're no longer used playing as Cuphead or Mugman, or never were. She's arguably overpowered in the right hands, however that is also true of Cuphead and Mugman as well. Beating all the bosses with Miss Chalice on co-op or solo on at least normal difficulty will unlock the Golden Chalice filter, which changes how she looks. Based on my current pull, Crackshot is by far the most popular pick, and why not? It is absolutely a better chaser with an awesome special attack. It essentially turns into an automated turret that, if timed right, you can parry and launch a pink missile at an enemy. Be warned, however, parrying this object can get you to bounce into danger, and if there are many enemies on the screen, it might hit something besides the boss like an ad. Converge is completely underrated. Its pierce ability is a godsend in certain situations. On the first mini-boss of King Dice, it hits all 3 bottles at once, making it way easier to handle. It is my go-to secondary weapon now, and once you get used to the narrowing its 3 lightning beams, it melts bosses and builds special extremely fast. Twist Up is a bit of a missed bag in my opinion. It's more of a utility than a jack-of-all-trades weapon. It's great for being underneath and shooting up and towards, and the special is a bit like a mini Special 3 with Cuphead and Mugman. Overall, it has its uses, but as it is, I would suggest looking elsewhere. Astral Cookie, as discussed previously, this unlocks Miss Chalice, who comes with parry dodge, double jump, and invincibility roll abilities. The trade-off is that's your charm slot. However, it's a great trade-off. Heart Ring is the best S-rank charm in the game. It is essentially 3 free health based off your 1st, 3rd, and 6th parry. You are going to do it anyways. This also does not nerf your damage like Heart Charm and Twin Heart Charm, and kind of made them useless and redundant. The Broken Relic, Divine Relic, this charm unlocks a secret boss in the graveyard of the DLC island. Once you beat this insanely cool boss fight, you are left to kill 7 bosses with it equipped. Once you do this, it becomes extremely useful. The Divine Relic, unlike the Cursed Relic, does not reduce your starting HP, leaving you with a healthy 3 HP, though the relic still randomizes your weapons, and with it you receive the full benefits of Smoke Bomb, Whetstone, Heart Ring, and 52% of the coffee effect. In addition, rather than the purple particle effects created by the Cursed Relic, the Divine Relic applies after images to the player, visualizing the enhanced power of the Divine Relic. Cuphead's The Delicious Last Course DLC has plenty of proper bosses to take on, but the King of Games has its own set of champions for you to trounce. You can't use weapons or charms in these fights. Your only strategy is to dodge and parry. Completing each challenge nets you coins, so it's worth it while you've conquered them all. King's Gauntlet is an event where you will fight all the previous champions at once. It can be accessed after beating all the King's champions. To enter, simply talk to the King, and scroll to the option, the Gauntlet. The Cuphead DLC blew me away and continues to do so. The amount of love put into this for only $8 seems like a steal. Cuphead is now one of the most complete video games in history, and has set the bar high for studios that shovel out garbage and expect us to buy it. MDHR deserves all the praise in the world, and I hope this is not the last course of Cuphead we receive. Subscribe, or I will chop up every ingredient in my kitchen. See you out there. Cheers. As a winner, I never gave up, left them looking foolish. I may have gotten second place, but I think I did alright. I thought I had left behind being a bum. Third place, what a joke.